Welcome to another edition of the Physique Formula Podcast. It is your host, Phil. If you are new to the show, this is a 5-minute or less research review podcast where I break down latest research, trends, new information to help you feel, look, and perform better. Guys, as always, give us a follow on Instagram at Official Physique Formula, on X Physique Formula, and PhysiqueFormulaSupplements.com. That is my line of artificial, sweetener-free, and natural sports supplements. Use code PF Podcast at 20 to save 20% in your first order. And guys, subscribe to the podcast. That helps us grow and let me know you're listening. And you guys can always ask questions. That is askphysiqueformula@gmail.com. Askphysiqueformula@gmail.com for your questions, and I will get to it. So today is, if I wanted to gain muscle as fast as possible in the next 12 weeks, what are some strategies that I would use? So number one, and this might seem a little out there, is I would emphasize foods that boost GLP-1. All right, so we're definitely familiar, you guys should definitely be familiar with Ozempic, which is a popular GLP-1 enhancing drug. So glucagon-like peptide is a hormone that increases satiety and regulates blood sugar levels. So therefore, we eat less, and by eating less, we can potentially make less poor choices. But by having regulated blood sugar, we can increase fat oxidation. Now, if you're listening to this, if you're someone who's a little more serious, I'm not telling you go out and get an Ozempic prescription. But what I am saying is that they're foods that can enhance your body's own production of GLP-1. And we want these little wins. Stacking little wins in the long run will give us a better physique, higher performance, and better health than shortcuts. So if less body fat equals less cortisol and estrogen, which both plummet our testosterone, and less body fat means we have greater insulin sensitivity, we can store more nutrients in working muscle tissues and therefore optimize our metabolic health. So GLP-1 promoting foods are typically fibrous and high in protein. So they might already be in your diet. If not, you need to consume them or just eat more. And we know that both macro and micronutrients are important for muscle growth. So I'm talking about foods like berries, apples, broccoli for the sulforaphane. I did an episode on that. Eggs, because they have high protein, they have a lot of lutein, zeaxanthin, follistatin, lean cuts of meat, avocados, olive oil. All of this boosts GLP-1 while fitting into an overall healthy diet. Number two, I would reprioritize intensity and volume in my training. So I think if you look at your goals in the gym, they change, right? But when we're going for muscle gain, volume and load is going to matter more for muscle growth than intensity and load is going to do. At the end of a week, a month, whatever your metric is, if you've written down every rep you've done with every weight, you add that up and that equals your total volume. But we use volume in terms of overall reps and movements. That and the load that we use is going to matter more than the intensity and the load that we use. And research backs it up, whereas there's significantly no difference in 90% intensity, training at 90% intensity and training at 80% intensity. So I'd reprioritize. I'd go for more volume. I'd go for more variety of movements, emphasizing different areas. For real quick for arms, like I would do a standing barbell curl in my workout. I would do a preacher curl. I would do a hammer curl. Those emphasize all different mechanical advantages and ranges of motion and different heads of our biceps and our brachioradialis and our forearm muscles. I would also use more supersets. They're not just for bodybuilding, but studies show that since fatigue and total volume, when you compare fatigue and total volume, they're the same with supersets as they are with single sets, yet supersets allow us to get more done in a shorter period of time. Plus, what supersets do is they bring more blood flow to the specific area that we're training. Blood flow, nutrient volume, that's a key for muscle growth as well. Whether you're training bis and tris, legs and quads and hamstrings, chest and back, shoulders and triceps, I'd start throwing in more supersets in my training. I'd also start using cheat reps. And this is something interesting. I'm not telling you to have lax form if you're going for a 3-rep max or if you're deadlifting or if you're barbell squatting. But when you're using isolation exercises or lighter weight and multi-joint movements, I'd start adding a little extra momentum when you fatigue to get more reps. And this will actually increase muscle growth. Studies show that cheat reps with lighter weights will actually increase the chance of injury more than a cheat rep with a heavier weight, just because you can't swing as much. So all of this is within reason, but that is how I would overload a muscle, specifically at individual parts for overall growth. So Give that a shot, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, Instagram at Official Physique Formula. Like, subscribe to the podcast. Askphysiqueformula@gmail.com with your questions, and I'll get to them on the podcast.